Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with.
Alan Talent back again after another hiatus. Fun times. And this time, to get back in the swing of things, we're going to be reviewing 4 episodes of SpongeBob,
Yeah.
Prehibernation Week, Life of Crime, um,
Procrastination, and
Procrastination. I'm stupid. Not in that order. We'll say what order we're doing it later.
well, actually, it is in that
But
order.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
is it in that order? All right, sweet. Got
yeah.
it.
I don't know.
Um,
So yeah, let's talk. Yeah, we apologize for the hiatus. It's personal reasons. We won't really talk about it. But um, you know, we figured we'd do something a bit light because one, we were supposed to on the CM Brothers channel, review the L movie, but now it's been a while, so I have to watch it again. Um, I don't really want to say that I'm not happy about it because I'm not happy about it, so that kind of tells you what I think of the movie.
yeah, I'm neutral.
Yeah. And then we did we wanted to start off with something light, cause and SpongeBob's like a bit light and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
we've been reviewing a lot of depressing stuff lately, so this is a good welcome back, I guess.
yeah.
And yeah,
So
so
let's get started.
without wasting any more time, let's get started.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell you what episode these are because season 2 is weird. It's like the best season, but also sucks to review because they
Yeah, it was
didn't
all
air it,
over.
they didn't air in order. So like the episode that it number that it is here probably isn't the episode number because I didn't review like the episodes in order or anything like that. So I'll actually tell you a story. So we were supposed to do I think Procrastination and I'm With Stupid replaced Pressure and the Smoking Peanut, but I couldn't find the Smoking Peanut episode online anywhere, so I had to change it. And I had to. It's a good thing, by the way, I looked this up a few days ago because then it would have been hell trying to do this now. So that, yeah, I had to settle with these episodes because these are the only episodes I could find online. I do have season 2 like DVD at home. I just not home right now, so I have to kind of work with what I got. So yeah, these are the episodes we're reviewing. So let's talk about them. We'll start with Prehibernation Week. And Prehibernation
Yeah,
Week and Life of Crime both came out on the same day, May 5th, 2001. But yeah,
I was less than a year old when this came out.
I was 5 when this came out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I watched it live because I was 5. I don't know what I didn't remember. I don't remember seeing a trailer on it or nothing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, so out of the 4 episodes we've seen, I'll just say right now, this was my favorite.
yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's my second favorite. But yeah, let's talk about this
Yeah,
episode.
like on this bunch, not like overall, but like this is
Yeah.
definitely a really good one.
Um, but yeah, let's talk about it though. I feel like in hindsight though, we probably should have reviewed this episode before the Survival of the Idiots episode because that's the episode where Sandy actually is in hibernation. I know this episode kind of exists in 2 different universes because Sandy's, technically goes into hibernation at the end of the episode, but I feel like we should have reviewed this episode before that
Yeah,
one.
SpongeBob's like, don't worry about it. Continuity is not related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was on this.
So anyway,
I was on this website actually. It's called like Wiki Fandom, where like they make like the long wiki pages of like certain episodes of shows that don't really get the enough attention, and they were trying to mention all these continuity errors about SpongeBob. It's like, come on, like, this is SpongeBob. You don't need to focus on continuity here.
yeah,
Like,
this is not like Breaking Bad or like something where it's like
yeah,
it's a really neat like nightly. A really sorry, I'm going off of 3 hours of sleep. A really like compacted story. This is
Yeah.
fucking like every episode is completely different. Don't worry about it. In
Yeah.
a couple episodes, the world literally ends, and it's never brought up again.
yeah. I mean, in one episode, we reviewed it. Wormy, the world ended pretty much. They destroyed the town
Yeah.
because of a worm, and literally the next episode.
I was
everything
talking
fine.
about it a bit before. The one where they like pull the drain at the bottom of the ocean, and just like all the ocean gets like dried up.
Yep. Yep. I mean, there's been countless times where the world's ended in SpongeBob and everything's fine in the next episode. So,
Yeah, but yeah. So let's start talking about the actual episode.
yeah. So,
Prehibernation.
the episode starts off. They basically paint a picture that Sandy's gonna go into hibernation in like a week. Because so she's trying to like do all.
Oh my
the
god, that's the name of the title. Yeah. So
yeah. So yeah, Sandy's trying to get all these chores done, like rake the leaves, paint the fence, and everything. And I actually thought it was hilarious because they do a joke here, where she rakes all the leaves, and when Sandy goes over, SpongeBob has like a ton of leaves on the ground, and we find out he's been raking the leaves, but he's using like this this tiny rake to rake the leaves. It's hilarious, actually.
yeah, like when she said raking the leaves, he thought she meant like raking each individual leaf.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, Sandy's upset because like since she's gonna be asleep all winter. They actually did a funny joke too because SpongeBob's never heard of hibernation before because sponges don't hibernate. So SpongeBob asks, "Can I hibernate?" And Sandy says, "No, it's a mammalian thing." And SpongeBob didn't know what a mammal was.
A mammal.
Yeah. Well, that's not what she said. She didn't pronounce it that way. So.
Well, yeah, she used like the dictionary thing. I'm just Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. They realize though they don't have a lot of time left to have fun. So SpongeBob's willing to dedicate any time that he doesn't already give to Mr. Krabs to her. So I'm like, that makes me question how much free time does SpongeBob have? Like,
Right. Reminds me of the episode where SpongeBob was like talking about how like he was making it sound like Mr. Krabs like paid him like a very little amount, but then it turns out that like SpongeBob had to pay Mr. Krabs to work there.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So you brought it up before. You thought like this episode kind of makes you think of like someone who like has a bucket list, like they're gonna die soon, so they want to do a bunch of all the stuff they want to do. Yeah. This reminded me more of like a midlife crisis, but same idea basically, which I think is pretty fun.
Yep. So yeah, they're about to do all this stuff, and then the rest of not the rest, but a good bulk of the episode is just them doing a bunch of extreme stuff. The first one is they go sledding pretty much, and actually in a sense. There actually is continuity here because if you played the Battle for Bikini Bottom game, I think this is where they got the idea probably for the slide things they do in like Battle for Bikini Bottom and stuff because Sandy uses like an actual.
We say that because we've recently been playing it, so
yeah. So Sandy uses like an actual sled to sled down the hill, and SpongeBob just uses his tongue. So that's where the continuity comes from because they do that in the game too. There's actually this one bit. They do some funny bits, which kind of becomes like a running joke in the show, where Sandy is running by with so much speed, she's like on fire, and she races by this guy, and like underneath like his stuff, he's like a little kid like in a bicycle, like with a bunch of popsicles, and the guy just goes,
"Oh, I can explain."
Yeah, it was actually pretty hilarious.
Honestly, these episodes have a lot of really good jokes in it. This one specifically, I'm like, I don't know which one's my favorite. Like, they're all really funny.
Yeah, and then there's like another bit where SpongeBob's going down the hill, and they basically do a reference to Frosty the Snowman, where the kids try to sing the song to bring him to life, and SpongeBob rides right into it, and then he just says to the kids, "Life is extreme as you want to make," and the kids are just like, maybe we didn't sing it right, because
yeah, well, because immediately after he says that, he goes fucking falling off a cliff.
Yeah, and so, then
Frosty the suicide of Snowman.
Yep. Yeah, and then when SpongeBob falls, he like breaks breaks everything pretty much. Like, I find it kind of funny though because I know.
go through his head.
I find it kind of funny though because I believe in season 3 he does the same thing except he like breaks his butt and is like fine, you know. He's like broken the rest of the episode. In this episode, he's like fine the next scene pretty much. No, not the next scene, but he's fine.
Here, SpongeBob walks off a near-death experience, and like a later season, SpongeBob's crippling depression over it, over his own mortality.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to that one. The episode where SpongeBob's depressed and like scared of the outside world.
Yep. Well, that episode. I hope the pandemic's over by the time we review that episode. Actually.
God, I hope so. Yeah. Honestly, SpongeBob had the right idea in that episode.
Yeah. Want to talk about like kind of what else was going on in the episode? Like obviously the next scene and stuff. Since I painted the picture.
Yeah, sure. So like pretty much it's just like a bunch, like you were saying, a bunch of extreme sports that they're doing that Sandy wants to do.
Yeah.
They go through this like bike ride. You know, at first it's very pleasant, and all of a sudden they're just like through this like extreme death park.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob keeps getting like cut up during it, but Sandy's fine.
Yeah.
And also extreme jumping jacks. And again, this is basically just like they do something that's supposed to be nice and pleasant, but then Sandy makes it extreme, and SpongeBob gets the shit kicked out of him.
Do you think he was being, because Sandy did ask if it was fun, do you think at that point he was being, it did seem like he was kind of being a little bit genuine, or do you think he was just basically...
Yeah, like I think for the extreme jumping jacks, he was like, wow, I've never played extreme jumping, like he was fine. But I think after the bike ride, he was like, okay, no, I've had enough.
No, I think he had enough. Well, at first, because we didn't talk about it, he tries to go to sleep at night after the sled, but then Sandy has like a remote control connected to his bed and spins him out of bed. And, you know, SpongeBob's like, what happened to sleeping here? And Sandy's like, well, I'll be asleep all winter. So she wants to kind of get everything in, like, now. So she basically doesn't want to go to sleep. I don't think he was done at that point, but I think he was done at the point where, I mean, it was probably...
That's the point where you started to realize, like, oof, I might have made a mistake here.
Yeah, but I think then there was a bit where, like, they basically play, I forget what it's called, like, they do a joust, pretty much, like, on, like, the Needle building.
Oh, yeah, like, it's basically, like, the Seattle Needle. And then SpongeBob just falls off and, like, lands on, like, a fire hydrant.
And I think at that point, I mean, he like, again, though, they probably did a lot off screen that we didn't see. But I think at that point he was kind of done, because if you remember when Sandy offers for him to go for a ride at a park, SpongeBob was like, "Well, that sounds safe." Like I think at that point though he was done. Like,
yeah, he was like, "Oh, no more."
Yeah.
He kept the real point where he was like, "Nope," was instead of finding a needle in a haystack, Sandy was like, "Hey, how about we find this hay in the needle stack?"
Yeah.
And so yeah, oof.
Yeah.
Good thing none of those needles were dirty.
I don't think SpongeBob, by the way, was looking for the needle. I don't think SpongeBob was looking for the needle, by the way. I think he was trying to get out of there.
Well, yeah. Well, I like how like Sandy's like getting poked, but like her suit's fine. Like she doesn't start like drowning.
Yeah. It is kind of funny. Sandy got off pretty easy in all these challenges. SpongeBob got the crap kicked out of him. Like,
yeah. I like how at one point like SpongeBob pokes his nose and like it. Like, so I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and I always think it's funny because like because he sounded like Squidward at that point, or like he was meant, you know, because which is or like maybe less Squidward because you know it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
he does.
But anyway, SpongeBob nopes out of there.
Yeah,
because he realizes I'm way over my head. This girl is crazy. And when he starts to like, he like digs his way out, and then Sandy's like, "Hey, I found it." SpongeBob immediately runs for it.
Yeah, can't blame him.
He gets his clothes like stuck on a plant.
He did try to tell her like before the needle in the haystack part too, like because they were gonna go fly fishing, which I think a person, the drummer from a band called Patera, I think that's how you pronounce that, like showed up in that scene. And he tries to tell her then, but SpongeBob's legit a puddle. Like, he's legit a puddle and can't say anything about it. And then, then he just books it because he realizes there's just nothing he can say. that would make her listen.
Yeah. Stop.
So he hides under Patrick's rock.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
his clothes got caught, so he just like leaped out of his clothes and went into Patrick's rock.
yeah.
And
'Cause he was-
I really like what Sandy says here when she finds SpongeBob's clothes. She's like, but SpongeBob always folds his clothes before he runs around in the nude. Like the way she
Yeah.
said it was really fun.
I also
So
like,
because SpongeBob always folds his clothes before he runs around naked, which is a thing he does, I guess.
yeah,
She assumes he's been kidnapped.
yep. I think it's funny. She wouldn't. The two things that he wouldn't go home because he thought Gary wouldn't keep a secret. Which I think is hilarious. And also like, cause she we'll talk about it more in detail, but she organizes the search party, and like the last place on Earth she looks, maybe because it's like Patrick's Rock. That you would think that would be like one of the first places she looked.
Yeah. Well, I like what SpongeBob says. He's like, I'll hide under a rock. It's so original.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much she organizes a search party. I love too when she mentions that SpongeBob's gone missing. How happy Squidward got, like that was great. So yeah, they
Like Squidward just turns to Mr. Krabs and is like smiling. So
yeah.
funny.
And then they organize a search party. They have like one team looking downtown. And
Squidward, we'll bring it up in a second, but Squidward was like the silent MVP of this episode. He has like 3 lines, but all 3 of them are amazing.
Yep. And then another team's gonna look basically like, I guess not downtown, but like in like the western part of the town and stuff, like on all like the woodsy areas, I guess. And pretty much everyone's just killing themselves trying to find SpongeBob. Like there's one point where SpongeBob tries to look for someone, and like this like mini volcano thing poofs up, and he gets all pretty much almost burns to a crisp. There's another point where they go to look like in something that
I like that. It was a little like, oh hey, they're underwater, because it's like, like there's like underwater volcanoes, which is like what that was.
Yeah. And then
So
they have to.
I like that. I like when he's early. We'll talk about that in one of the other episodes. But like, I like when they actually acknowledge that they're underwater.
Yeah. And then she's trying to have somebody look like in something that's a cave, but it's like really like this big fish or whatever. And yeah, it was just funny. Eventually, she asked for a status report, and everyone's like, people have gone at like a leech foam, like poison like sea urchins and stuff. She just tells them look again too, and they're all like covered with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I like how Squidward just like, he's not in my thoughts. Sandy's like, well, think again.
Yep.
Again, Squidward just like is so funny. I love him.
Yeah.
As a kid, you relate to SpongeBob. As an adult, you emphasize with Squidward.
Yep.
Empathize with Squidward.
We always talk about it. That's probably gonna be a video someday.
Squidward's a true hero.
Yeah. SpongeBob's a true villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much everyone's just had enough. Doesn't this sound similar to what SpongeBob was going through? They just had enough. Like Sandy's going to the extremes trying to find SpongeBob, which that actually makes sense because he went missing. So, but everyone like hasn't slept.
I think she's clearly going so upset because like she wants to do more stuff before hibernation.
Yeah. Everyone has like
yeah, she gathers everyone up at the beach. She's up on like the lifeguards thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, everyone's just desperate to get her to stop. Like this guy pulled out like a box of like kelp, like a kelp box, and he's like, "Hey, I found them." And then like the really buff dude's like, "Oh, hey, look, this is SpongeBob." And she's like, "No, SpongeBob's square." And he like picks him up and like molds him into a square, and he's like, I'm ready. She's like, no, you ain't.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, they're just
that's definitely like yeah, go on.
they're just pretty much, willing to do anything to just stop this. Just she's gone so insane. Eventually, somebody, I can't believe she bought this, but I wonder if it's because she went so crazy. Someone just says, "Look, he's up in the sky." She turns around, and when she, look up in the sky, and when she turns around, everyone's just gone. I can't believe I think she went so nuts
Yeah.
though. She was just, willing to do anything because I don't think she would have
Yeah,
bought
she's
that.
desperate.
Yeah. So eventually, she starts literally pulling buildings from the ground to try to find him. And then we see that guy again, who,
By the way, I just looked it up. The clip of him saying, "I'm ready, I'm ready." No, it has 4 million views on YouTube. Go on.
That's great. But yeah, we see the same guy again that like Sandy earlier had like morphed back into like the tricycle ice cream thing. Say, I can explain, because he probably didn't think like someone was gonna tear his house down. So
Yeah, he's just chilling in his house, like completely just like with a bicycle and like a lollipop for some reason.
yeah. If I find out everyone's just hiding under Patrick's rock, like everyone just bolted to Patrick's rock. Like I feel like
I'm
they did
pretty
the
sure
same.
someone even said the same line as SpongeBob. Like, should never think to hide here. It's so original.
Yeah. But I even love it too. Like, I wonder, because we don't see them actually go on the walk. It happens off screen. I wonder if they did the same thing SpongeBob did, where they freaking booked it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I think. But like, so they're all hiding there, and SpongeBob just like says something, and they all like immediately turn to him,
yo,
and then they're like, "Oh, it's him. We found him." So they boot him out of the rock, and
There's
Squidward
probably-
comes out long enough just to say, "Oh, look, it is I, SpongeBob, out in the open."
yo. I have a feeling it was Squidward that probably pushed him out too.
Yeah, probably.
Just no one.
So yeah,
no one-
like when Sandy runs up to him and hugs him, everyone's like, "Yay!" And SpongeBob's like, "God, no, I'm gonna die."
Yep. So yeah, she tries to do more hibernation. She's trying to go do like some extreme sport because hibernation's about to kick in. But SpongeBob just wants
Yeah, and
Sandy.
she wasn't kidding when she said it's coming up.
Yeah. SpongeBob just wants her to listen for like just literally a second.
Well, I thought this part was really sweet, where like SpongeBob's like, "You gotta listen," and Sandy like is like still in a hurry,
Yeah.
and SpongeBob's like, "No, you gotta make time," and like she actually listens to him.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And he basically says, that he can't play any of these
Well,
more.
before that, I like how he says, "I am a man," and he pulls out like a razor.
Yeah. And then
I
yeah,
don't know, just a little joke that was funny.
and then he he says that he just can't play with Sandy anymore because basically the games are too extreme for him. Which you can't blame him if you saw the games he had to go through. Like I feel like they'd be too much for me too.
Yeah.
And
I like how he's like, "You're tearing me apart," and he like rips off his nose and throws it to the ground.
yeah, and he feels bad about it.
And I don't know if you've seen The Room. That reminds me of that, where he's like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa."
Yep. Well,
I don't know if you've seen The Room.
yeah.
Really bad, but anyway, go on.
And then yeah, we find when SpongeBob goes, he thinks he's just like ripped her heart out, but we find out, yeah, hibernation kicked in because she went like hibernate. She was sleeping in hibernation by the time that happened, and I think SpongeBob was thinking that was the best time for hibernation to kick in because he pretty much just ripped her heart out and poured his guts out, and she probably didn't hear any of it.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob just goes to sleep because he's so tired from all the extreme games. And the episode ends. Everyone's in Patrick's rock, and Patrick finally comes home from the looks like the grocery
what was
store.
Patrick doing this time?
Well, it looks like he was at the grocery store because. But yeah, I don't know what else.
Yeah, for what, like a week?
It's pretty. Hey, it's pretty believable. I don't think Patrick would be at the grocery store for probably a week.
Yeah, probably actually, yeah. And he just, I like how like you said, like it's funny as a kid, but when you realize like a bunch of people are just in his home, his reaction's pretty understandable.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Who are you people?"
Yeah, like freaking out. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
the
then
episode.
that's where it ends.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I give it probably like a B plus, A minus for SpongeBob. Definitely
Yeah.
one of the better ones.
Yeah. I'll give it like an A minus. I'll give it like a 90 out of 100. You know. Um. It's got great funny jokes in it. I guess the message is you know, try to make a bucket list, but don't go crazy trying to complete every single thing on your
Yeah.
bucket
Like
list.
take things slowly, like, and also like for SpongeBob, like communicate properly. I guess good
Yeah.
message for kids. I'd say like definitely a good one.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the next one. It's Life of Crime. Yeah, this episode's a pretty damn riot because I mean, Life of Crime's only like like a day there, but to the SpongeBob Patrick probably felt like life for life.
Yeah.
Pretty much it starts out. Mr. Krabs is watching like this crime show. I think that's meant to be like Law and Order in their world, probably. And basically some crook steals like a crab's. It's supposed to be like a hermit crab show. He gets caught by the police and put in jail. And Mr. Krabs is ranting about this, saying what a no good thief that guy was. They should lock those people up
And
forever.
Patrick basically point out Mr. Krabs keeps stealing everyone's stuff.
Yeah, I like how he took
And then
Plankton's
how,
lawn. I think it's hilarious though. Out of all one of the things he took Plankton's lawnmower. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I
think he did that just to, honestly.
just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Probably,
like,
yeah.
Plankton's going nuts. Like, where the hell is my lawnmower? Like he doesn't even use it.
Yeah. There's no way he could.
But Mr. Krabs justifies it. Oh yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say there's no way he could use that thing.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he did it just to mess with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs basically justifies it by saying like, "Oh, I didn't steal these things. I like borrowed them."
Without asking.
Yeah, without asking. Yeah. So SpongeBob and Patrick are like, "Oh, hey, that's a good idea."
Yeah. So it comes up. They go to the park. Patrick wants to buy a balloon.
They come here very rarely. So this was like I kind of forgot about the place.
Yeah, like they come here and
like they come here a couple times. So
that I was gonna say, like pretty much like you said, they're only there a couple of times. They're there in Karate Choppers, and I think they're there like other times, but I don't remember the exact other times they're there.
Yeah, like they're here a few times where it's like it's more than like a one time look. Like it's weird they don't use it more,
I know.
But yeah, I like how I like how this is probably a Squidward sees SpongeBob and Patrick, where they're just like dopily walking, like, "What do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do today?"
Yeah, and I bet Squidward just hopes they're not gonna say, "Let's go to Squidward's house today." So,
yeah, I know, right? Every episode that Squidward isn't in, Squidward's happy.
Yeah, I would imagine. But then again, I feel I know Mr. Krabs stole some from him. I forget what it was, but
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah, Patrick wants to buy a balloon, but he doesn't have the money for it. I bet a balloon though is like not even that much, just for one balloon. It's probably like
Probably like $1.
huh?
Probably like $1.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Nowadays,
we find out at the end of the episode today it was completely free.
Yeah. I bet though, like nowadays though, like it wouldn't be $1. They'd freaking cheap you out, be like $6 for a balloon. Like
Yeah, for a balloon. Yeah, probably.
knowing how 2001 easily $1, 2021 $6.
Oh my god! Yeah, now that you said that, like I know we said it was in 2001, but I kind of like it didn't make me think. Like it's been 20 years since this episode came out. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, that's a sobering moment.
But yeah, SpongeBob tries to get like the bank from like the National SpongeBob Bank, which is just basically like gold at the end of the rainbow for him, but there's no money in there.
Mm,
So they make the
yeah,
offer
this
to
was a very like weird joke, but I liked it a lot. It was funny.
yeah. They make the offer to borrow the money from Squidward, which I and then Patrick just says, "Wait, instead of borrowing the money, why don't we just borrow the balloon?" Which I bet Squidward was happy. Even though he didn't know about it, he was happy. Probably he said that.
Like for a second, Squidward held his breath, and then when Patrick said it, he's like, "Oh, thank God!"
Yeah.
About this episode.
So yeah, that's what they do. They nonchalantly just take the balloon, like the guy's not even looking. And then they make all these plans about what they're gonna do with the balloon, but then it just randomly pops out of nowhere. Like it's not like it like randomly. I wonder if it was because it was underwater.
Like it's not like it hit anything. Yeah, it just popped.
Yeah. I wonder if this was one of those jokes though, where because it's underwater, the balloon just popped out of nowhere, so that's why it popped, or if it just.
I was gonna say because they joke about underwater. Like underwater pressure is insane. That's a tough balloon for it to be able to like stay like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it pops and SpongeBob and Patrick freak out.
Yeah, because they can't return it, which that's actually pretty believable. Because I don't know if you see, there's not these shows, but there's like comedy shows that will like try to do something, where they'll buy shoes for a day, wear them, and then bring them back, but then pretty much they get ruined, so they can't return them. They're stuck paying for them. This is pretty much like a version of that.
Yeah, same idea. But instead of being stuck paying for it, they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna go to jail."
Yeah, over a balloon.
Yeah.
And they're like freaking out. I actually like.
Sorry, everyone, I'm yawning so much again. I'm running on fumes here.
Yeah, I even loved actually because you don't see this a whole lot like in cartoons. Like they're freaking out, but you see everyone's like still doing stuff like around them, and you're kind of seeing like that like because they don't really know what's going on. They're like looking at these guys like they're crazy. Like
yeah,
which I think is hilarious. They have to just SpongeBob tells them to act natural, but they can't keep it together. They just
I feel like whenever you say act natural, you do the exact opposite. It's like
that's definitely. I think that's rule 101 in a comedy show. Never say act natural to someone because they'll do the exact opposite of that. Everyone just thinks they're street performers because they're like freaking out. But then they run away. I guess they thought the crowd was onto them or something. And why don't you talk about they bump into the balloon guy? Why don't you talk about what happens there? Because that's a pretty big.
Yeah. So this was funny. So he's like, "Hi there," he's being super nice, and SpongeBob and Patrick freak out, and they just bolt out, and he's like, "Wait, it's Free Balloon Day!"
Yeah, I mean that's why.
So like I kind of forgot they revealed it this early. Like I thought it was revealed at the very end with the cops, but no, they said it super early on, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." So it's just being stupid.
I do kind of like it, like that they revealed it early on. Just because, like, now they're basically freaking out for no reason, and it's meant to be funny now.
Yeah, so, like we know they're freaking out for no reason.
Yeah. They basically say that they have to go on the run now. They don't actually call it on the run, but that's basically that's basically what they do. I even love how SpongeBob says to cover their tracks, and Patrick's like. He's covering their tracks, but he's making like a red line, like basically not covering their tracks. Like he has a thinner.
Yeah, like making it more obvious. Yeah.
So they look at Bikini Bottom one last time because they can pretty much never go back.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: they go back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And they basically say they can only bring themselves and whatever they can carry on their backs. And I love Patrick tried to bring his whole house with them. Like, because of that, SpongeBob had to travel lighter because of that. Like, he didn't get to put anything because Patrick decided to try to put in his whole house. I mean, he could have managed it. He freaking got it all the way out of Bikini Bottom somehow. So, I mean, it's pretty much like it's. Not
I like the SpongeBob just left Gary.
I know, yeah. Like, I guess I don't. I mean, I was gonna say Gary probably died, but he probably ate the sofa if he, and stuff. So, because he's done that before. Yeah. So, I bet Squidward was having a field day. This is why Squidward I think is the MVP, because even when he's not in the episodes, you just think he's having like a nice life. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so even when he's on the episode, we're talking about him.
He's not. He's just having a nice life right now. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Like this is like Squidville for him.
Yep.
Like the beginning where he's just like everything's great.
Yep.
So yeah, they're having a little campfire out in the middle, and they're just talking about how their life will be on the run now.
Yep. And then Patrick's finally saying.
Yeah, you can say it. Go ahead.
By the way, I'm sorry about this. This is one of the disadvantages of Discord is there's a delay on our end. So
so every now and again we'll just like start talking, and then like the other person will too.
But yeah, this is where like they make the acknowledgement that they're underwater, because at one point I think he was about to pretty much ask the question, like, if we're underwater, how can there be a fire? But before he can finish the sentence, the fire goes out. So
it's like the show realized its own logic.
Yeah.
And I said it before, but I really like when these episodes like acknowledge like they're underwater. It's just funny.
I don't really think they acknowledge it nowadays either. Like it's very rare they acknowledge.
Yeah, that's kind of why. Yeah. So, yeah, the fire goes out and they're like, oh man. And SpongeBob mentions like, oh, we've got to eat at least 2 chocolate bars.
Yep. Well, first they make like they kind of have like a pros and cons moment where they talk about all the bad things like that they lose now, but they talk about all the good things that are going to come out of it, which leads to like, all the them talking about all the positive moments. Well, which leads to one of probably the quotes that everyone remembers: "This town ain't big enough for the two of us." Where SpongeBob like forms into the hat, and I have a feeling that's probably a movie quote from somewhere. That they took like from way back when.
Yeah. It's like a cowboy movie quote, this town ain't big enough for the two of us.
I bet you too, a lot of people went back and watched that. I bet you a lot of people, whatever that movie is, went back and probably watched that movie or that scene. And you know how sometimes people will comment down, "I'm here because of that SpongeBob episode." That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I feel like it's because that's like such a popular line now. I feel like most people haven't even seen the movie that's from,
Yeah. I haven't, so.
Right. So, anyway, SpongeBob pulls up to the 2 chocolate bars they got to eat now. That's like what they're living off of.
Yep.
And SpongeBob's like, we got to make it last. And Patrick's like, I think I'll eat it now. And he eats the whole thing, including the wrapper.
Yep.
And then Patrick, because he's so stupid, as soon as he eats it, he says the same thing. I think I'll eat it now. And then he bites his hand.
Yeah.
And he sees SpongeBob's holding a chocolate bar, so he assumes SpongeBob stole it, I guess.
Yep.
And then SpongeBob's completely in the right here. Like, no, I'm not letting just ate.
Say that again, you cut out.
And Patrick's like trying to guilt him, like, now I'm gonna starve. And it's like it pans down, it shows Patrick's like still fat.
And full.
So like, he's fine. Yeah, exactly. So like he's good. He still has chocolate all over his face.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how he got that much chocolate on his face. Like even if he smeared all the chocolate on his face, I feel like that still wouldn't be enough.
Yeah. And like, then I love
maybe he really was gonna starve because like 0% of that chocolate to his mouth.
Yep. Just and then I love what happens here because SpongeBob offers to share half of his with him, and Patrick pretty much is being a baby about it and says he doesn't want it unless SpongeBob admits he took it, and And SpongeBob says, "Well, if you're gonna be that way, I'll eat it myself." And he pretty much like rubs it in Patrick's face that he's gonna eat this chocolate.
Yeah, like starts licking it and everything. And Patrick's like, "Oh my god!" And then when SpongeBob eats it, Patrick's like, "All right, you know what? I'm taking you to jail."
All this yeah. Can you imagine like in Breaking Bad if Walter went on the run? If like the disappearer guy showed up and like didn't and like remember they played cards at the end? Like imagine he beat him in cards and he was like a big baby about it. Like that'd be hilarious.
Yes. Or it's like Walt and Jesse are just like cooking in the RV, and then like Jesse like eats Mr. White's like chocolate bar, and so they get into a giant fight, and they like call Hank, and they're like, "Hank, look, I'm a meth dealer, and I want you to arrest Jesse."
Yeah, that'd be great. I was gonna say, imagine it happened in Death Note, but I actually think it would. I actually think it would happen.
Like Ryuk ate Light's potato chips, so Light is like, "L, I'm Kieran. I want you to get rid of Ryuk."
And he wouldn't even know what he was talking about. I mean, it pretty much happened in the movie with the news reporter person. So, you know.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually. She was really begging to be caught. Yeah. So anyway, check out our review of that. It's that was fun.
Yeah. But anyhow, eventually they turn on each other. They basically blame each other for them stealing the balloon and stuff. Where I even loved how SpongeBob said that Patrick's criminal mind manipulated him. Patrick ain't manipulated anybody. Like he can't even manipulate.
I don't even think Patrick has a brain, let alone a criminal one.
Yeah. So yeah, they basically about to tell on him. But then eventually they basically come clean and say that they stole a balloon, and the police about to punish them, and they lock him into jail for like not even
I like how the police are even like super like okay, like they clearly don't care.
Yeah, but yeah, eventually well, how long were they in jail for? Like what? Not even a second. I really like the joke where they're like the police officer's like, "Well, you do the crime, you do the time." They like shut the bars, and then like a second later they open it back up. Okay, you're free to go. Yep.
And they're like, "Wait, why? We stole a balloon." And the police are like, "Yeah, on free balloon day."
Yeah.
And they start laughing. It's funny.
I think they were laughing at them, but I think SpongeBob and Patrick were like shocked about it, but took it as if like they were laughing with them, but they were actually laughing at them. Like,
yeah. Well, SpongeBob and Patrick's faces at the end, I'm kind of like, no, they realized laughing at them. They were being idiots.
Yeah.
So now I love those police officers. I wish they were in it more.
I know, yeah. And then afterwards, they offer SpongeBob and Patrick some lollipops, which is weird because like it kind of goes the whole thing with like the age thing of SpongeBob and Patrick. Like you don't really know what their age are. Like if you're a grown ass man, you're not offering a grown ass man a lollipop. So I think they were meant to be kids here.
Yeah, some episodes are like really like weird on it.
Yeah.
Patrick eats his lollipop and then assumes SpongeBob stole it again. So the police start laughing. Patrick's still being serious about it.
Well, someone stole it because he even goes, "Which one of you flatfoot stole my lollipop?" And then they all laugh. And then before the episode fades to black, he's like, "I mean it." Like you don't see him. I would have loved to see Patrick's face because we didn't actually see his face. It like showed like above the water or whatever. I would have loved to have seen what Patrick's face was like when he went, "I mean it." That would have been great. Like,
yeah. But this was a fun episode. I think this was probably my second favorite of the batch. I give it like probably like an 88, 87, so like B plus.
Yeah, definitely. This is like when Pat.
Yeah, so I agree. Like that last episode was like a 90, so like A minus. This one was like an 80, 87, so B plus.
This is when Patrick was like. This is when Patrick's like at his best because Patrick really makes this freaking episode like, especially like
Patrick's definitely like a funny one. This one.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the next one. And if you're a procrastinator like me and AJ, and you should know because we're still on the freaking Death Note and Breaking Bad stuff, so that just proves how much of a
Yeah, and it's
procrastinators
been
we
like a
are.
year.
Yeah, we literally
Yeah. So yeah, this one is like it's funny as a kid, and it's like way better as an adult, basically.
yeah, it's procrastination. These episodes, by the way, procrastination and I'm with Stupid came out on October 19th, 2001. So I don't, you was you weren't even you were still just barely a year old. You weren't like your birthday, like your first birthday was probably in like a few weeks. Um,
Yeah. Wait. What was the
actually, no,
date you said?
I was one. You were a year old. You had just turned one a few weeks ago. For some strange reason, I was an idiot and
Wait,
thought your birthday
what was
was
the
on
date you said?
October 19th.
Yeah. You're right. Wow, I was surprised because you said one of the older was May 2001. So I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, there's a big gap in between.
Well, I gotta remember, we don't. This might not be the next episode, but production order and all that stuff. So, anyhow,
The release order is really weird. But yeah, you're right. I just turned one, like 2 weeks earlier. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. So yeah, you were. It's like they knew you were gonna be a procrastinator because this was your birthday present to talk about
Yeah, I know, right?
procrastination.
Congrats. Have fun with this for the next 20 years.
Yep. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk
So
about it.
honestly, it's funny because I've been procrastinating on writing an essay, actually. So
Yeah. So this episode's
episode
great.
fits me.
This episode's great for you.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe if I wasn't exhausted today, I would actually finish it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Like shows you didn't look. Shows you. Oh, by the way, we talk about the life lessons. What do you think the life lessons could be? I mean, obviously the life lesson in Life of Crime is pretty damn obvious. Don't steal anything.
Yeah. This one is the life lesson. I guess would be like,
Don't procrastinate.
just don't. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. It's pretty. It's kind of on the tin.
Me and AJ though haven't learned that lesson yet. I guess because even this
Yeah, I guess.
episode's been out.
But also, I think it's like SpongeBob would like spend the whole time like sitting at the desk trying to write it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So maybe like take a break, I guess, to come back to it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it though. So, Mrs. Puff, gives an essay that's like 800 words, of what not to do at a stoplight. Do tomorrow. Who could do
Which,
that?
by the way, that is bullshit. Trust me. Like that. Like people joke about like how like when you're trying to like extend the word count on your essay, that is like the definition of like you will extend every sentence you can just to meet that word count.
Yep. But I'll tell you why that's also bullshit. Like, I don't think you could write 800 words on an essay in a day. I don't think anyone's ever given. Like, I think literally I've had assignments in a week where they've given me like 300 words. 800 words in a day, that's bullshit. Like,
oh yeah, that is 100%. That is like 10 pages.
Yeah.
I definitely. I have written more than that, but like not in one day. So yeah, you're right. That is
bullshit. So yeah, I love too how annoying SpongeBob's being to like. There's like this random guy that he's talking to, and he's like repeating what Mrs. Puff is saying, all excited about it. And I like how the guy tried to mock him for it, but SpongeBob didn't get it. That was awesome. Like
yeah. Like SpongeBob was like kept saying like, oh, but SpongeBob is 100%. By the way, he was like, you forgot to collect the homework.
Yep.
Yeah. So SpongeBob was like all excited about every like challenge he adds to the essay.
Yep.
When she says 800 words, the guy's like, did you hear that? 800 words. And SpongeBob's like, I know, right? And the guy gets pissed off. He's like, God damn it, I hate this guy.
Yeah. I think this guy might be the new. He might also be Squidward, where he hates this SpongeBob.
Yeah. I wish we got more of like classmates because I don't know, they're all funny.
Yeah. So yeah, SpongeBob's about to start the
Pretty much, I
essay.
just want to show about the background characters, honestly, in SpongeBob.
Yeah. So yeah, SpongeBob's about to get the essay out. But like a lot of time goes by, and he's just struggling. He doesn't even have a word down. Actually, no, he does have some words down. He just writes the title of the essay.
Yeah, I like how like has this montage of him like writing furiously, like for like a
Yeah.
long time, and he's like, and he just wrote
Yeah.
like the word the really fancily.
Yeah. But yeah, he's struggling to come up, and this is actually a deleted scene now. I don't know why they took it off. It could have been because of time. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was because like there's not really any reason to like exclude it aside from just like runtime.
yeah, because I can't think like there's nothing inappropriate about it. Like, the only thing I can think of that's inappropriate about it is basically SpongeBob looks out the window, and it's like a night. It's a super nice day out. Everyone's having fun. There's a freaking carnival going on outside his house for some strange reason.
Yeah, which is weird because SpongeBob's road is out in like the middle.
Yeah. Um, and you see Patrick and Sandy hanging out with each other. Patrick looks like he's giving Sandy like a massage. That could be why it's a deleted scene, but I don't really see what's bad about it because like I just don't really. I just think it's more because of time. Because then the next thing is SpongeBob can't think of anything, and he tries to do some exercises to get his brain pumping. And then when if you don't see the deleted scene, the episode kicks off when he says, "I could feel those juices pumping now." So I think it was just. I definitely think it was because of time. And yeah, it's basically. I feel like the rest of the episode review, we could just say what things that SpongeBob does to because the rest of the episode, he's pretty much just trying to avoid now writing the essay.
Yeah, it's procrastination basically, like everything to avoid doing the work.
So he rocked his chair back and forth. He tries to feed Gary, and he tries to like he pours like a ton of food into his bowl, knowing that thinking it's gonna take him like forever to eat it. And he says, "I'm not gonna leave it till you take every single bite," and he eats it all in one bite. I would have been pissed, by the way, if that happened to me. I would have been bullshit and then he cleans the kitchen, and then like Gary did leave a mess, but it wasn't anything like significant. But he clearly did it to get out of it. He even cleaned the garbage, and then he calls Patrick, and weirdly enough, Patrick knew in a second what was going on. He realized, SpongeBob was just using him as a distraction, so he doesn't have to write his essay. And SpongeBob, is upset about this, that he basically called him out on his shit. But when he tries to have an engaging conversation with him, he can't think of anything to say, and Patrick just hangs up. Patrick was sleeping too, by the way.
Yeah,
it was like
Patrick could be really intelligent for some reason. I thought that was funny.
I think this is.
I like it when.
Yeah, I think this. I think though, because we find out at some point in the episode it's a dream. I think I like to think that was when it was a dream. Was when Patrick was actually being intelligent. Because it's just weird.
Yeah. Well, like it's SpongeBob's subconscious, like talking to him through Patrick, basically.
Yeah. Then. He has like
or like maybe that's how SpongeBob used Patrick.
Yeah. Then SpongeBob has like a bunch of eraser shavings on his paper. He brushes them off and he swallows one and he's being overly dramatic. And gets water. I like how Gary called him out on him too.
Yeah.
He tries to eat. He basically talks to the mailman. And the mailman even calls him out on it, saying, "Don't you have a paper right?" It was definitely a dream there, because why would the mailman?
Yeah, I like how SpongeBob was like, "How did he know?" So that's.
Yeah. And then when he comes into the house, why don't you talk about what happens when he gets because that like the dream, like when it's actually like a because at this point we know it's a dream pretty much.
Yeah, so it basically turns into a nightmare.
Yep.
Because. Well, I don't know. You want to describe it because I don't really know.
So basically, because SpongeBob's been doing so many things to procrastinate, all like his urges to procrastinate, like sitting in a chair, and all this type of stuff, like his, is talking to him like to procrastinate, and then I actually kind of like the symbolism like like SpongeBob's trying to get to his desk because where his desk like is going away from him because that's pretty much what he's
Yeah, and it
been
seems like
avoiding.
really far away. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like when he gets to his desk, like he's really small, showing like every time like he tries to come up with something, he can't come up with anything. So that's why SpongeBob is like really small.
Yeah.
And then his pants come off, and I feel like his pants were kind of like a symbol. Like every time SpongeBob tries to come up with an idea, he always tries to find something to procrastinate. So that was the symbolism of his pants coming off. And then
Never thought I'd hear that sentence. That's the symbolism in his pants.
yeah. Well, what else am I? That's what it was, though. So,
Yeah, no, well, hey, this is why I asked you to describe this because I didn't really know how to put it into words.
yeah. And then he gets locked out of his house, and then this clock's like going off, and it's really weird. By the way, that's like his clock's basically like it's like a snail, which is meant to be Gary.
Yeah.
And basically his clock says time's up, which I think is him feeling the worst, like he's not going to finish his essay in time. And then his house catches on fire. I think that was just SpongeBob. I actually don't think it was him. It was just him being extreme. But I think like legit feels you have, like what would happen if you didn't finish this essay.
Right,
some people say it's not like
obviously this is a nightmare at this point, so it's like it's playing that out.
People. I think a lot of people say like it's not like if I don't do it, the house is gonna catch on fire. I think that was kind of what was happening here.
Yeah.
And then he dozed off. I think that we're not really sure like when exactly it was a dream. But it was definitely after SpongeBob went on this bulk when we just rolled the. It was definitely sometime after that. So, by the way, if that was a dream, I bet SpongeBob was probably, he didn't show it. He was probably so relieved that was a freaking dream. Like, I would be if I was him. Like if I had a dream that and then eventually,
I think we all had those. Actually, I had a dream last week where I bought I'm really cheap, by the way. I bought like $1,000 computer. And I was stressing about it it was a stress dream where I was stressing about having spent that much money.
Yep.
And then when I woke up, I'm like, oh, thank God, my bank account's fine.
Yeah. But then SpongeBob sees that he has only like 5 minutes left to finish his essay. Actually, no, he says class starts in 5 minutes, which is just really weird because we've seen
Yeah, so he has to finish the essay in 2 minutes and then get ready and leave and go to class.
But it doesn't take. We've seen it though. It doesn't take him 5 minutes to get to class. It takes him at least 10. So he would have been late anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, jeez, I feel like we've all been there though, where you're turning some last possible second.
Yep. And
there have been times where I'm working on something at 11:58, and I got to turn it in at midnight. So I've been there.
So SpongeBob finishes the essay real quick because I actually think in a sense it was like him procrastinating helped him do the essay because he did all the things he used all the things he was doing to avoid doing the essay that actually helped him. So that was, I think it shows it's not good to procrastinate, but when you do procrastinate, use it to help you with your assignment.
Yeah, if you use it to actually get ideas and write, do the work, that's fine. That's basically what I was saying. If you need to take a break, take a break.
Yeah. And then SpongeBob goes there though, and pretty much Mrs. Puff tells him there's no class. She has to go to a teacher's convention. I guess she forgot about it because there's no way she didn't know. There's no way. Was this just a last minute teacher's convention? That's shit you know about a day, weeks beforehand. Did she forget about it or something?
I know, right? Whoops.
I think you do find out later. Mrs. Puff has skipped jury duty, so maybe she was trying to skip it and she couldn't skip it or something. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, SpongeBob. She reveals she tried to call SpongeBob, but I guess he was sleeping. Eventually, Mrs. Puff just decides to call off the whole assignment. Says we're just gonna take a field trip of how to, what not to do at a stoplight instead. Which is like, which is what she should have done anyways. I would be bullshit if that happened.
Isn't that what she should have done anyways? To take a field trip to a stop sign?
Better than writing an 800-word essay. I feel like you would learn more on that.
And by the way, that has absolutely happened to me too, where I stay up all night working on something. I go into class and she's like, oh, and she extends it to like the next day.
Yep.
Like, I'm happy you got extended, but I'm not happy I stressed so much.
I feel like this is my favorite episode. It gets like an A, like maybe like a 95 out of 100. The only thing I would have changed about it is I feel like because I relate to it the most. The only thing I would have changed about it is I think SpongeBob should have been like kind of like he should have been relieved, but I feel like he should have been kind of like pissed off about that. Like it just didn't seem realistic. Like he should have been like, I get.
Like,
I think because
God, SpongeBob just drops the F-bomb. This is probably like my third. It's funny, we've been going in order of like how I like the episodes.
Yeah.
It's like 90 was Prehibernation week, 88 was Life of Crime. This one was probably like 87. Like it's really neck and neck with Life of Crime. So this is also a B+.
Yes. All right, let's talk about the. I'll let you do since I did a good bulk of the talking in the procrastination one. I'll let you do a good bulk of the talking for this one.
Sure.
I think it's called. I forget the name of this episode. It's,
I'm a Stupid.
I'm a Stupid.
Yeah. So this episode, it's the first time we meet Patrick's parents too, which is really interesting.
First time like he's mentioned like his parents or anything like that either. Like
actually, and funny thing is, I don't even think they show up again after that. So. In one of the episodes,
he has a sister, but we don't see the parents. So.
Well, anyway, that's kind of it's a missed opportunity. Oh well. Well, so Patrick's worrying because his parents are coming over, and he's worried about like them thinking he's stupid and like living on his own.
Yeah.
So SpongeBob offers to like act dumber to like make Patrick seem smart and like make it seem like Patrick is always helping SpongeBob out.
Yeah.
So Patrick likes this idea. He's like, yeah, let's do that. Patrick's parents come over. Well, his parents come over.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. And Patrick's happy to see him. And SpongeBob, he's acting like a moron. Basically, he's like, "Hi, I'm SpongeBob." Like he's acting dopey and like he's like pretending he can't like remember stuff. And it's funny because it's like with the nightmare thing where it becomes more obvious as it goes. At first, it seems like Patrick is like just going along with it, like he's like obviously knows SpongeBob's faking. But like as it goes on, it becomes more clear that Patrick actually thinks SpongeBob's stupid.
Yeah, and we talked about this like, so did Patrick like, because like you don't really know like, because like when
at what point did Patrick think this was real?
Yeah, because because we just see Patrick with his parents at first. Like SpongeBob doesn't come in till like a couple minutes later, and like Patrick's talking. But if you've seen like a Nickelodeon show or like a Disney Channel show where they actually try to act, it's really bad. So you would think Patrick's actually in on the joke because he's like, because the way he's talking, it seems like he is. But now you question like, was he not in on the joke? Like, was he doing this because he actually thought SpongeBob was an idiot? Like,
right.
And then I just think that's what's funny about it. I actually have seen this episode multiple times, but I feel like that part till today I really didn't think of. Like, at what point did Patrick think, like, this was real? Like,
like with the Nightmare 1 procrastination, I think it's kind of like you can kind of tell at what point like it's a dream.
Yeah.
or like you can kind of tell what is a dream and what isn't. So it just kind of like at what point is it, like here it's kind of like it's really hard to tell like at what point did Patrick start, like did Patrick think SpongeBob was stupid the entire time, or did he like as they kept joking about it, like he thought it was real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we give an answer of what we think? What do you think, Hap? Do you think he was in? Do you ever think Patrick was like in on the joke, or do you think he actually thought this was all real?
I think he was in on it at first, but like only like first like minute. Like I think after that he's stupid.
I definitely think. Yeah, definitely. I think the point where we definitely know where Patrick isn't in on it is when he's actually describing like what SpongeBob is actually really like in real life. Like he's actually like going through like, how SpongeBob will go to work saying I'm ready. Like he's actually like isn't it kind of funny though, like, cuz like Patrick actually knows, like Patrick actually lets it slip that Squidward doesn't like SpongeBob pretty much. If you notice, he actually says that to his parents. Like Squidward doesn't like this guy. Yeah. Like,
it's funny. Oh, and I think I forgot about the beginning. But Patrick was like freaking out, like when his parents were coming home. He was like dusting everything, and just like I don't know. I thought that was funny. But I forgot to bring it up earlier, like how freaked out Patrick was.
I think
like how he was like begging SpongeBob to like help him out, and now he's treating him like shit.
Yeah. By the way, this might be one thing. This is the first time like Patrick's like made furniture in his house because he's like forming sand in the furniture. I might be wrong.
Yeah. And I always thought it was weird how like sometimes like the it's like flat, nothing under his rock.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like there's like a little hole underneath where like he has like furniture and stuff.
Is this the first time like we actually been inside like Patrick's house, I guess?
House? I think so. Yeah, because I think every other time he's just like underneath the rock, and it just like there's like nothing underneath it.
Yeah, so I think this is the first time we've actually seen it done this way. Don't quote me on that, because the Secret Box episode's in this season, and I don't know if that episode came out first or not, but that's not the episode we're reviewing right now. As the terms of the episodes we're reviewing, we'll just say I think this is the first one where we've actually like been inside the rock.
Yeah. And well, I like how SpongeBob comes over with like his gear. Like I think it's supposed to be like headgear,
Yeah. I know, that's actually kind of funny.
Like I don't know, just like in case he's so stupid he like hits his head on something. I don't know. I just think it's funny.
So yeah, at one point SpongeBob finally catches on that like Patrick like actually thinks this is legit. He thinks he's actually dumb, and he tries to talk with him privately and say like this was part of our plan. But
yeah, like SpongeBob's like actually getting mad because Patrick's like actually like insulting him.
Yeah.
But like no, he's not just saying he's stupid. Like he's actually like insulting how he.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, taking a little too far, man.
Yeah. So he tries to like reason with him, saying this isn't real, and I actually kind of like it because like Patrick actually says to SpongeBob like it's so stupid. Like dumb people really don't know how dumb they really are, and it's kind of like Patrick basically like Patrick doesn't realize he's actually dumb.
Patrick basically roasts himself, basically.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and I like how SpongeBob's like, "Do you think this is real?" And then like it pans down, and Patrick's now wearing like almost stupid shirt.
Yup. So yeah. They go into SpongeBob goes in and basically comes clean to his parents.
Yeah, and he says it like as intelligently as he can, like, "Hello, I'm sorry for lying to you."
Yep.
To start things over. Hi, I'm SpongeBob SquarePants, and I am not a dummy. And they just assume that Patrick taught him how to like act normally.
Yeah, in 3 minutes too.
Yeah.
So and Patrick's like actually like taking the credit for it too. Like he's kind of being an asshole here. He's basically like took the credit.
Yeah, this episode is like really like when Patrick is like such an asshole. Like this might be the worst like Patrick's ever acted.
Yeah.
Like it's funny. I'm saying it's probably like the most asshole he's been.
Yeah, but if you would have come to me, by the way, and say Patrick was like you hated Patrick was your least favorite character on the show, and you only and you were just basing it off of this episode, I could see what I could see where you're coming from though.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying like it's funny and I like it. Just
yeah.
Like I'm saying like yeah, if like just going off of this episode, he's a real asshole.
Yeah. Basically,
and
like
SpongeBob just doing like everything to like prove it to him. Like he shows him a picture of his brain. He's like, "See, I have a brain."
Yeah.
And then Patrick's like, "That must be actual size." But I like how Patrick, now that he thinks SpongeBob is dumb, he himself has gotten smarter. I think.
I know, yeah. Like he had that confidence.
It's like now that he has someone else he thinks is dumber, he's growing stronger.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing works.
SpongeBob does 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, but it pretty much nothing works though. Like they just think like Patrick taught him how to do all this stuff. So
I think at one point SpongeBob starts like foaming at the mouth because he's getting so pissed off.
Yeah. So eventually he just books it. He's just done. Like
yeah, he breaks. He just screams and like busts through his wall, which is weird because like it leads to outside, but like they're under the rock. So
yeah,
I don't know how that works.
I guess maybe SpongeBob dug himself out like in the hay in the needle stack type of thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
In a way,
yeah,
though.
So,
in a way, though,
I like how they're like, man, he's crazy, and they're like, it's always the quiet ones.
Yeah. In a way, though, SpongeBob's plan worked. It just didn't work the way he wanted it to. Patrick's parents finally saw that Patrick was smart. Just it didn't happen the way SpongeBob wanted it to at all. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
I bet it is kind of a good thing in a sense. Like, SpongeBob isn't episodic because like it would have been kind of cool if they did like an episode right after this. Like I don't think SpongeBob and Pat would have ever talked to Patrick ever again after this. Like,
it is kind of good. SpongeBob's episodic because they can kind of just do whatever, and not like worry about it.
Like in this, we could say like this is like the universe theory. In this universe, do SpongeBob and Patrick never talk to each other ever again? Like, is this it for them? Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Does
SpongeBob goes into a depression?
Does Patrick just forever think SpongeBob's done now? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, why don't you talk about the big reveal at the end?
Yeah, so I'm surprised Patrick was this smart. So like, Patrick's like dad calls his mom by her name. I think he says like Marge.
Yeah, something like that.
Or like Margaret or something. I don't know. And then Patrick was like, "Who are you people?" I'm sorry if Patrick even knows the names of his parents at this point.
Yeah, but that definitely showed that.
And then his mom's like, "I'm scared," and then like Patrick's actual parents show up.
Yep. Apparently, they were like in front of Squidward's house all day, saying, "Where's Patrick?" Like they forgot, like his parents forgot where Patrick.
Yeah.
was.
Yes. Yeah. Like Squidward's like, "Please, like these two have been looking for you everywhere. Take them."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, oh, son, did you forget who we are again?"
And then, no, I actually love it. It was like, because like earlier in the episode, the fake parents say, "Wow, son, you actually recognize us this time." But then this time, his actual dad says, "Wow, son, you actually recognize us this time." It's kind of funny because he didn't. It would be hilarious, by the way. I know this is like, because then the episode ends, they all just kind of laugh, and then we find out the fake parents actually don't have a son, so they just forgot they didn't have a son.
Yeah, but I like how like Patrick's actual parents are like fine with him being stupid, basically.
Yeah. But it'd be hilarious.
Like Patrick was basically running wrong. Yeah, and then Patrick's fake parents are like, "Oh, that's right, we don't have a son," and they just leave.
I just think it's hilarious, by the way. Wouldn't it be hilarious if that actually wasn't his real parents either? It was like a continuous cycle that happened. Where like
there's just like so many starfish that are Well, I am like almost positive like Patrick's fake parents are like making fun of like Homer and Marge from The
Yeah,
Simpsons
yeah.
because they like dress just like them, and I'm pretty sure her name is Marge. Patrick's mom, like the fake mom.
His fake mom is Janet, and his mom is Modi.
Oh, Janet. Okay, my bad.
But I'm pretty sure that still could, they could have just switched the names and stuff.
Or maybe the dad's name was like Marty or something.
Yeah, the dad's name was Modi, so maybe that was.
Okay, that's why I was thinking. I had it mixed up.
Yep.
Man, what was
Yeah.
Uncle Marty doing in this episode?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but this episode was all right. I feel like we probably.
Yeah, definitely my least favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, it's like a C. I give it like a C plus. Like, it
Yeah,
was kind
C
of.
plus as well, probably like a 78.
Yeah. It was definitely cool to see like Sponge like that they kind of that we got to kind of see a little bit about Patrick's background. And that his parents actually did think he was stupid because it was true. But I also think it was kind of like, and it's cool to watch this episode now because you're trying to find the moment where Patrick thought SpongeBob was legit an idiot. So you're trying to find that moment.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even think
And you kind of feel bad for SpongeBob at one point, during this episode, because like he's just trying to help out his friend, like his friend being such an ass.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, that's the end of the video. We have nothing left to talk about. By the way, I feel like something we should do, since we're reviewing one thing, if you had to take these episodes and, so I'm just going to say, I think overall, I gave the first one an A minus, that we did. The second one, a B plus.
Oh yeah, like these episodes as a batch, how would I rate them?
Yeah.
Well, two B pluses, an A minus, and a C plus. I guess the A minus and the C plus cancel each other out, so probably like B plus overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. It's probably like a A minus B plus for me overall because I have a because I have an A plus in there, and I think the A plus because the C plus.
Oh
and the
yeah,
A
yeah.
minus,
You rated something like a 95 or something. So yeah, you probably have it like more of an A minus. I'm more of like a B plus.
There you go.
Hey, this was a good batch. Don't get me wrong. I definitely enjoyed all the episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much it,
I don't know
guys.
how much of that is just nostalgia.
Yeah, right.
No, like seriously, like without the nostalgia goggles, I do think legitimately fun episodes.
Yeah, I feel like we probably would have hated the I'm a stupid episode more but we don't have that nostalgia. Like without the nostalgia, maybe we would have hated it, but
yeah, we probably would have rated it probably like C minus, maybe like a D.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I feel like
overall,
it's because also too we know Patrick's character. Like since we've seen Patrick throughout the show, we actually believe he would freaking forget, that this was actually an act. So
yeah.
So
I think it's a fun episode. It's just not as good as the other ones. I mean, that's kind of a hard bar though, because these are some of like the funniest episodes of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
so definitely good episodes. Check them out if you like SpongeBob as a kid or even now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We have nothing left to talk about. Thanks for watching. We're gonna try to do like more SpongeBob reviews. We haven't been because we've been stuck on the Breaking
We've
Bad.
been busy with all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Once we're gonna be done with Breaking Bad in one video. We'll be done with Death Note 2 videos.
Yep.
So after that, I'll free up a lot more.
Next week, if AJ has no tests or anything like that coming up, we're gonna finally try to sit down and finish everything. So,
which we should be able to. I mean, we only need to watch 2 things and then to make 3 videos. So
yeah,
here's hoping.
I would say it's pretty easy, but we've made it. I feel like we've made it hard. So
life has just been crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're rambling a bit, so we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm Alan Talent. This is Owen Finch.
Yeah, just make sure, by the way, to you check out CM Brothers and Wrestling Fortune 44 and this channel for all this great stuff. So that's pretty much it, guys, and we will talk to you guys later.